It's not
It's
a
totally
big deal
it's legit.
anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah. Speaking of cooking, I've had one of those Instant Pots for like a year.
Okay.
Do you have one of these?
Yeah, no. I got
Okay.
it.
So the only thing I've ever made it in the last year.
Yeah, we did this. I have
is
one
the
chicken.
rice.
I have one chicken dish.
Okay. So since then, I was like, this is a wasted piece of equipment. I need to get a cookbook so I can see all of the things that you can do. I'm very creative, but not when it comes to cooking.
Amazon.
No. I like pages.
Okay.
I like pages. Let's not go into that whole real book versus ebook thing because you'll get me all
What do you got
riled
against
up.
ebooks?
No. I got an Instapot cooking cookbook on Amazon. I got
what's
the
wrong
top
with you?
rated
Okay.
one.
So let me just tell you about this. I decided I got the cookbook. I went home on Monday. So just 5 days ago, I was like, I'm going to try this recipe. Okay. The best fucking dinner I have ever made. I nailed it on the first try. It was the easiest thing I have ever made. And it was in the Instant Pot. And I've been eating leftovers all week. It's been so good.
What did you make?
So good. Arroz con pollo.
Oh, nice.
But I had the, Puerto Rican sofrito and oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah, people rave about the Instant Pot, and my one dish is good.
Somebody else. I fed it to somebody else, and he was like,
intentionally?
You nailed it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't typically make a recipe and like share it the first try because I'm a little intimidated about my cooking skills.
Wait a minute. So you shared it, like, was it going to be a meal first time out, or you're like, oh my God, I made this. This is so good. Have some of this. In other words, was it a safe share or was it going in blind share?
That's such a good question. I don't even know how to answer that. I know it sounds like that's not a difficult question.
It's not.
But
there's secrets.
Here's what happened.
Clearly,
I'll be bullet points here. I was determined to make it.
Yeah.
I reached out to a friend.
Okay.
And said, I'm making a new recipe. Do you want to share it with me?
All right.
And I made it. And that was a big step for us. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
That was like a big first
check. Wow.
For that friend.
I'm impressed.
So, and on top of it, he brought something to supplement, and he brought a bottle of wine, and it was
that's awesome.
Spectacular meal.
And you delivered the goods.
And I delivered the goods. And it was like, I couldn't have planned it any better. It was really, really, really great.
Thank you, Instapot. Thank you, Instapot.
Thank you, Instapot.
I feel so guilty now.
Why?
No, because my Instapot is a Instapot clone. It's not the actual
Instapot. Mine too.
Mine's a Crock-Pot Instapot.
Mine is the Costco version of it. And let me tell you, there was a little bit of a scary moment. Because
Costco, by the way.
I got, hashtag Costco. We got Costco. I got all the way through the recipe. And on the very last step, in which I'm putting like the final bits in, which at this point is basically raw chicken, right? And it says push this button and it goes for whatever. The button's already predetermined how long that is, right? So I go over to the Instant Pot. I look at it. I'm like, oh shit, this is not the Instant Pot. This is the generic version, and it doesn't have that button. Now what do I do? Because now I'm at the point I'm like, this is chicken. Like you can't screw that one up because you're going to make some people sick. So I punted and I did it good.
Nice.
I was like right between the, what do you call that? The uprights.
That's, by the way, that's not
a punt. That's not a punt.
That's an audible.
No.
Punting is the equivalent of quitting.
Oh.
Giving up. Surrendering.
No, we're talking about football.
Yes.
Yeah.
You punt the kick.
You change the play.
I changed. No, I just closed my eyes and kicked. Hoped it was going to go between.
That's a Hail Mary.
That's not a punt,
I feel like it's
is it?
punting, though.
No, punting is when you surrender. That's a Hail Mary. That is a leap of faith.
For you listeners out there who now I'm starting to look like that girl who doesn't know anything.
Totally. It's a leap of faith.
The truth. But okay, whatever the metaphor is for it, I did it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to wing it. And this is, I think, what the right answer is. And it turned out to be the right answer.
Punting a football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that part. But for me, like as a kid, I remember my brothers playing football and like
for all the football
when you weren't
players out
going
there,
to be able to make the goal, right? You're like, oh shit, I guess we better punt because there's no way we're going to make a touchdown.
No, we want those 2 points or 1 point.
Yeah, we give up. We're going to give the ball to the other team.
We have to go in a different direction.
But for all the football players, enjoy it while you can. I think football is going to bite the dust.
Why?
I mean, I hope so.
What are you talking about?
We people are beating their brains in.
Well, yeah, but that's been happening for a few years.
Did you see the Costas? What's his name? Costas?
Bob Costas?
Yeah, Bob Costas. So he basically lost his job at NBC because that's what he said. He goes,
when?
He said it
like 22 years ago.
In a playoff game like 2 years ago. He said these guys are just beating their brains in.
And he lost his job over it, huh?
Yeah.
You see, I haven't been following football ever since. At the last football game, I actually,
and
like when I was in
he's
Fanatic.
Not a nobody. He's like an institution for that. Yes. Yeah, for NBC Sports. Yeah.
So back when Peyton Manning was the quarterback for the Colts is pretty much when the last time I was actually following a full season of football. And that was a while ago.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe 6 years.
No, but I stopped even way before he left the Colts. Basically, when I started having my job, here's a funny story for you.
Let's do it.
I used to live across the street from the Colts training camp, literally across the street. And my husband at the time, who is the father of my daughter, he traveled a lot. And
was he a race car driver?
He was a race car driver.
Oh, that's right.
And keep in mind, like a little small background detail about the story is that I was told at some point that I was probably not going to be able to have children. And if I were, there was going to be a lot of intervention needed. Right. So we were newlyweds under the impression that we couldn't have, children.
It's terrible.
He traveled a lot. So lo and behold, 6 months after we get married, I get pregnant and so shocked by it. Like when I was pregnant, I had no idea I was because I was like, it wasn't even on my radar. Mm-hmm. But he used to joke about, because he traveled so much and we were like, how did this even happen? And Peyton Manning was, and my daughter she's like, she was so big when she was born, blonde hair, blue eyes, which you can see that she got that from me as well. But my husband would tell people that Peyton Manning was her father because I don't know. I guess it was funnier at the time than it is now.
It's funny.
No, it is funny.
It was
especially
like,
considering
it's not mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was like, I wish. I mean, not that I'm a fan. I don't think he's all that, but the child support checks would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably worse things in the world than being an NFL baby mama, right?
Mm-hmm. 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 Probably. I don't know. Maybe I should try that one next time. I'm going to be like Elizabeth Taylor someday. I'm going to be like, my 18th husband.
Oh my gosh. That makes life even more exciting and colorful.
Well, it gives me stories to tell on my podcast.
It does. It does.
All right, Joyna, what's next for you? And I know you're just starting your coaching business. I want to know, are you going to phase out of the real estate work? I think I know the answer to this because I know you very well, but I love to hear it. What's your best case scenario in the next 2 years?
Oh,
give me 24 months.
I don't know about 2 years, but I have the 5 year to 10 year goal kind of thing.
No, I don't want to hear that shit.
Oh my God.
I want to hear, give me some real
I have to be
stuff.
alive in 10 years.
We'll work on that one. No, but seriously. So the NLP coaches that I love the most are NLP trainers that go around the world and teach trainings. So they go to 5 or 6 different countries every year and teach. And that's what I want to do.
But I think that can happen because of that relationship that you made. By the way,
totally will.
Because of my mastermind. You're welcome.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that can happen. I don't think it's 10 years down the road.
Maybe
by
not.
any means.
Maybe not. I think I need to gain more experience working with people because now I have the skills. There's a couple more really famous people in the field that I'd love to take classes from before they kick the bucket.
Nice. That's always good.
Speaking of people, so let's go back to something you said earlier. Tony Robbins.
Right.
He's very, people either love him or they hate him. And so I'm not going to lie. The first time you said Tony Robbins does NLP work, I was like, ew, I don't know if that needs to be your go-to example.
That's a good point.
Am I unique in that?
Well, no, I'm turned off by him. I think he does a great job of what he does.
It's the jaw, probably.
Well, no, I think there's some people who are extremely extroverted, and that brings a lot of energy to people.
He's intense, man.
Intense, but something he's doing, he has a secret sauce that thousands of people are really connecting
tens
to.
of thousands or
Right.
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, isn't Oprah on board, if I remember right?
Probably.
With Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
Probably.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. I think it's more when I say NLP, people are like, huh, what's that? And when I say, oh, do you know Tony Robbins? Oh, yeah, I know that. So you're right. I guess it's more reframing for me of what is NLP. And I mean, all the people who are really famous in it, I mean, Robert Dilts, Chris and Tim Heilbaum, Susie Smith, Stephen Connie Ray Andreas, those names don't ring a bell for people.
No bells.
That's a good point. I mean, I do think that's a good reason to put his name out there. I think maybe energetically it's back to that, like, he's so in your face and so.
Oh my God, he's big.
But
right?
I will say also, and I'm speaking a little bit out of turn because I haven't dug deep into the story, but I have this instinct because lately he's been really pushing some of his advertising to like repairing difficult relationships. And it's work that he's doing with his wife. And so, from the outside, it's like, oh, they had a difficult marriage. They figured some shit out.
His childhood was screwed up too.
Wait a minute.
I don't know. He's starting to feel
marriage difficult?
Well,
All right.
Well, I mean, he grew up
yes,
with a mother, with a drug addict mother that would beat him up all the time until finally at 16 or so, she kicked him out of the house and he had to go and figure out his own life. So he ended up becoming a janitor and in a school, and from there worked his way up and started learning these different things to recognize he doesn't have to be a victim of his life of, oh, poor me, like my life is hard, but more like, how can I take this and recognize the gift in it? So I think he stumbled along the way and figured stuff out. And I mean, I don't know if he has a few children. I don't know if they're from a previous marriage or just a relationship. And it sounds like with his current wife, there's probably some issues going on, but
I'm wondering though, is he taking a pivot? I guess more than anything. Like, if he is, it doesn't really matter, really.
I hate to be a little cynical, but it seems like too that it's probably a combination for him. That one, he's got to kind of come out with a new product, right? But he's also got to up his game.
True.
So the two aren't mutually exclusive, right? Like he's like, I want to take things a little bit farther. Yeah. And also, this is going to be my new, kind of rollout for 2019, right?
Yeah, that's, I guess, kind of what it's
you
feeling
can't,
like. But I'm starting
come out with the same movie every year.
Totally. And I think what was my reaction was more about, oh, this feels like he's taking something very hard, and again, I could be having a filtered reaction because of my relationship issues that I've had in the past, but like he's taking something really weird, like really difficult and potentially private and exploiting it to bring himself to the next level in his business. And that feels very icky to me. But having said that, she's right there with him. So it's not like he's exploiting her, or I don't know. Well,
take your pick. I mean, there's a lot of more exploitation than that in business.
As he holds up the local
what am I holding? Yay, Shop Sonoma County.
Yes. Oh.
I subscribe to the Argus, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they deliver it every Thursday, I think.
I get it right here on
Love
my desktop every day.
Wow.
Or every
Saving
other
trees.
Day. Yeah. I don't know. Saving trees. I mean, let's go back to this ebook versus real book thing. I'm so confused. This is such a hard subject for me.
I just like finding
it's simple.
Buttons
Either you like
pushing.
feeling and touching things and smelling books of all ages.
Yes.
Or you like a screen. That's it.
Yes. Oh. Yes.
But I'm struggling with the environmental impact of the real books versus the ebooks.
What specifically?
How so?
What's the environmental
Paper
impact that you're stressed
super
about?
renewable.
Great. That's all I needed. I'm done.
Okay. We're done. No.
I don't even want to argue that. All I needed was the permission to enjoy a real book.
No, totally.
The question is, why are you asking for permission?
Oh.
That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm gonna just give it to yourself.
I'm going to reposition and stare at you now.
Oh my God. That's why I love Joyna. She does. Here's the thing.
She put that right in your grill.
I I feel so bad because the first few times I would ask a question and Danielle would almost burst into tears. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
I love it though, because I never feel judgment from Joyna. I always feel like she's giving me another opportunity to take a different perspective. And I need that. And I welcome that.